Yo, 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 yo. Welcome back. Welcome back to Casual. What happens? Conversations with the homies. We got Guru, Tito. It's a beautiful Saturday morning. Yeah, Saturday morning. Guru, how are you?
Great, great. How you fellas doing?
Good, I'm good.
I'm
Tito.
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Welcome to the Saturday morning cartoon edition. Casual conversation with the homies, quick little hitters today. So, um, yeah, man, ready to do
Go
it.
ahead, Guru. Yeah, open it up, Guru.
Yes, I like to honor the great legend Hank Aaron, one of the greatest baseball players who ever lived, if not the greatest.
Mm-hmm.
Started out with the Milwaukee Braves, who eventually moved to Atlanta in 1966 and became the Atlanta Braves. He was a big part of that move during the turbulent time of the 60s and the civil rights movement. He was not just a baseball player, but he was someone who was active. Not only that, he 23 years in the major leagues and still holds a lot of major league records today. Most people don't know, even if he didn't hit over 750 home runs, he still have over 3,000 hits, which is astounding if you know baseball statistics. Um, the list of accomplishments goes on and on, but more importantly, we were just glad to have someone on this earth like him who was blessed, a small kid from Birmingham, Alabama, who was a prodigy at the age of 13 and went on to bless us with his greatness on and off the field. And I just wanted to pay my respects to the Aaron family, Mr. Hank Aaron. And I'm sure you guys might have some thoughts as well. I know your parents probably watched him or have heard of him.
Yeah, most definitely.
I don't think I've ever heard of it. Nah, I'm playing, man. I mean, straight up hammering Hank, right? Um, yeah, man. I mean, I'm a big card collector, and he's definitely present this year in a lot of chase cards and whatnot. You can definitely tell within his signatures. You know, one of the most desirable guys out there. But yeah, shout out to him. I gotta give out shout outs to my recent Dodger losses as well, Don Sutton and Tommy Lasorda. But Hammering Hank, man, I mean that was a big loss with, like you said, the statistics that he had, 3,000 hits, over 750 home runs, like that's something that I don't think we're gonna be able to see for a very long time. So yeah, respects.
Yeah, respects to him, man. He's a trailblazer. R.I.P. R.I.P. All right. Off of that note, we're gonna get the show started with Tito with
Yeah,
UFC.
just quick little hits on UFC. Everybody knows I'm a huge UFC fan. Probably
Huge.
detriment to my wallet. Right, huge detriment to my wallet in purchasing all of these damn UFC fights. I was glad last week's. I mean, if you guys saw
Mm-hmm.
last week's fight card, first time on ABC, national network. No affiliation to us by
Yeah.
any means, but um, definitely Max Holloway put on work. Time around, man. I mean, the return of Conor McGregor, right? I mean, the end all be all, the number one kind of marketer
Mm-hmm.
amongst the UFC and kind of primed and ready, they say, to come back. It's a dangerous fight. I mean, I know that, he fought Poirier a while ago. I mean, I want to say that this was in the WEC is when they fought. So it's a whole different ball game when it comes to it. I mean, I'll tell you, I have a feeling McGregor is going to win. I feel like they're setting him up for something bigger, but it's a dangerous sport. Anybody can go out there and win. Right. Just the other thing that we have is there's the co-main event is Dan Hooker and Michael Chandler, another lightweight bout. Um, Michael Chandler's first fight with UFC. So it's we're gonna see what he has. I mean, he comes from another big time promotion. He was kind of like the number one free agent out there. And now they want to prime him to kind of see what he's gonna bring to the table. Dan Hooker, comes from a recent loss, but I think it's gonna be a good fight, man. I mean, everything here, it's gonna be a good card, man.
Yeah. Are you watch? I mean, of course you're watching. Last week, I think last week would have been a better. They had to compete with the NFL last week, so that was kind of rough. But
Yeah,
Holloway put on a
well, it
good
came out.
fight, so it
It
kind
came
of.
out earlier. Yeah, I think you're right. It was at Fight Island, so the fights were a little early this time around. I mean, I think they were trying. I think they were trying not to compete with that last football game, right?
Hmm.
Um, which was dubbed as like one of the bigger ones, but um, yeah, I mean, last week's
Yeah,
fight card,
also.
everybody showed up, man. I mean, there was a lot of finishes and just some overall good ground, some good fights.
Yeah,
I mean, if you guys saw that main event, Max Holloway, I mean, I think it was over 400 significant strikes, man. Like
yeah, he
it
beat him up.
ridiculous. Yeah, I actually felt bad for the other guy. I mean, he earned my respect as a fight fan and as a watcher, but I actually felt bad at some point where I was just like, man, if I was the ref, I mean, Herb Dean, I was yelling at the ref, man. I was just like, stop the fight, man. Like,
Yeah, Holloway.
it,
He coming off a controversial loss, and then some people say he didn't lose. I don't think he lost, but you got to beat the champ, man. You know how I am about that. You got to really stop the champ. All right,
I,
let's
yeah.
go ahead. You got any last words?
Nah, nah, I was just, I know that today's fight's going to be fun. Definitely out there. I know last week's fight was good. I mean, Max Holloway definitely, um, MMA blessed. Um, I have different feelings when you win a fight by a jab or by a kick. Like to me, the champ, like you said, you got to beat the champ to be the champ. But I mean, you can still win. I mean, there's a system in place. There are points out there, to um to do enough, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, every single time as a fight fan, I want to see somebody get knocked out or finished or submitted or anything like that. So it should be fun. Um, Watch out for that first card though. The first fight on the card is the ladies
Mm-hmm.
um, getting down. It's Marina Rodriguez versus Amanda Ribas. I'm a big fan of Ribas, man. Like she's just very, very electric. I think that's gonna be my sleeper fight. Hopefully, I'm not wrong, but that's the first fight on the main card. So just watch out for it.
Yeah, I think that's the beauty of it. I've been watching UFC all morning. I don't know if that's some type of premonition that I should be watching this Conor McGregor fight sometime later on today. But been watching a lot of blood and guts this morning. Well, not guts, but some battered people, and it's like got my juices flowing a little bit. And that's the beauty of the UFC because, hey, one false move, that head kick that some people can't seem to see coming up from the side is night night.
Big
Yes,
nighty,
sir.
big nighty. All right, so let's talk NBA. Kyrie's back. It's a few things going on. Go ahead, Guru. I'll let you open up with the NBA talk.
You know, um, I like what the Lakers are doing right now, but I also like what the Warriors are doing.
Talk about it.
You know, this seems like they starting to find their rhythm. I mean, I'm not going to count them out this year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I know they're missing Clay, but I think Steph is at his peak right now in his leadership, and they got those young guys playing really good. I wish Draymond would be more of a player instead of a coach on the floor. All right,
This is true.
and maybe we can get a little bit more out of him. They're paying him to be a player, and I just see that too much with him. But I like what Brooklyn is doing, but it just goes to show you how competitive it's going to be this year because you can have a lineup like them and still be beat. So I'm excited about the talent that's being dispersed around the league, the way these players are flowing with each other. It seems like there's a lot of parity other than the Lakers in the league. I like the way Atlanta's improving. Um, yeah, I like what I'm seeing.
I haven't been watching that much basketball besides the Warriors games, and I don't know. I don't have too much to say. Like the Nets, they don't play defense, so I'm not surprised. But what about Milwaukee? Let's talk about Milwaukee. Your boy. What does Milwaukee have to do to get over the hump that I don't think they're going to get over?
Uh, that's just the bottom line. You know, he's their main piece, and then my man on his wing. Those two gonna have to get it done primarily, and then their backcourt. They have a decent enough backcourt that whereas they can like if they have the right guys in that position, they should be able to compete in the East. There's no reason why they shouldn't. And after Brooklyn 2 straight losses, it lets me know that there's hope for any top team in the East, including Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah.
Oh, Indiana.
I think you Samir, they got to play defense. You gotta learn at the right moments. I mean, it's every team that has offensive firepower. I mean, just speaking on the Nets, right? I mean, I see more from them. Um, I mean, the Cavs put it to them the other day in double OT. They got to learn how to play defense too, right? I mean, you got these offensive, masterminds. You got these, straight ballers, but it's like you got to get a stop when it counts, and it's like that's going to take a while. Milwaukee, you got you're gonna have to clamp that. You're gonna have to clamp down and kind of play
Clamp
D
down.
and have those, have those, something that I see the Lakers do really really well. I mean, the Lakers can play any type of basketball at this very
Mm-hmm.
moment. They're a transition team. They can spot up. They they have an identity to do it all essentially with the type of players that they have. But there are these stretches watching the Lakers play where if they get into this defensive mindset, they're gonna stop you. They're gonna shut you down. They're gonna try and do everything in their power to get that one crucial stop to
Mm-hmm.
make it happen. That Warriors game, I mean, definitely a little bit of an anomaly, letting go that 16-point lead. But I mean, the Warriors are a sneaky team. I mean, I don't think not once have we ever said they were a garbage team or a bad team or anything like that. I thought they're definitely somebody that you're gonna have to watch out for.
Mm-hmm.
That could, burst somebody's bubble or even sneak into, like last year's Blazers or whatnot, of just like a team getting very, very streaky and just making some noise. But Milwaukee's gonna have to learn how to stop, man. Like Giannis, like I get it, but dude, like be a defensive player, like let's go ahead and they have the pieces in my opinion. Like Drew Holiday is not a slab on defense, man. Like he know he can stop a ball handler. He knows what to do. Giannis is just a big guy and an athletic freak of nature, and he can definitely impose his will sometimes. So they're gonna have to lean on that, and hopefully they can find it. But I don't see it. I still think, regardless of the Lakers being number one in my eyes at this moment, I still see everything coming out of the West. I think the West teams are just positioned a little bit better than the East, but that's just me.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see. The basketball season's kind of been. I've been mad on it anyway, but we'll see when it comes down to it. The good teams are playing good. The ones who need help are the teams that we're not surprised at right now. So, what else is going on in NBA? I think y'all seen that Shaq comment, Shaq, the spider comments.
Yeah,
Shaq, how you?
it's just Shaq. Shaq's trying to be relevant again. Every now and then he's gonna say something. I mean, he's a young kid. With Mitchell, he's a young kid. Don't have to beat him down or anything like that. But it's like he's positioned himself to be a next tier. He's positioned himself to be a household name out there. So he's gonna do his. I don't think it's gonna bug Mitchell all too much, in my opinion. I mean, it was interesting to see LeBron had something to say about it.
For what LeBron
Uh,
said, I didn't see this.
he basically just backed Mitchell. He basically just didn't come out and say specifically that Shaq was out of line or out of pocket, but it was more so like, hey, yeah, Mitchell's a baller. So
Go ahead, Guru. What you think on that on those comments?
You know, it's just NBA commentary. I don't really know what to make of it. I haven't really followed that part of it. Um, I just know it's fodder for NBA.
Yeah, I don't care too much for it. Shaq can say his comments. I don't think Spider's like an elite all star neither. I mean, elite superstar, like top five in the world. But maybe Shaq thinks this is gonna help him get there because Shaq believes in him. But I don't know. People are gonna say what they're gonna say. As far as like other people coming out and like coddling Spider, I don't. Mitchell, I don't think that was necessary or needed. Like he can stand on his own 2 feet. He don't care. Like it ain't Shaq's opinion is not ruining his life. So
Yeah.
all right, NBA is done. Let's talk about NFL headlines because there's a few headlines. But first, let's talk about the NFL coaching headlines. So we got Robert Saleh to the Jets. We got Arthur Smith to the Falcons. We got Urban Meyer to Jacksonville Jaguars. We got Brandon Stanley to the Chargers. Then we got Nick Sirianni to the Eagles. And then we got Dan Campbell to the to the
Detroit.
Detroit.
Detroit
And then
Lions.
I think less the only team that's left is the Texans, and they're interviewing Josh McCown and Jim Caldwell. But I'm gonna go with
Yeah.
Josh McCown is gonna get this job probably for the way this is going.
This is one thing I will say though, in defense, because I'm not. Although, listen, race does play. Josh McCown is one guy that I wouldn't mind getting the head coaching job out of those other guys who've gotten a job because he's been in the league for about 18 years. He knows the players. He is this guy. He's just a quality individual, and the guys love him. Anyone who's ever played for him never had anything bad to say about him. So, with respect to him, yes, I I wouldn't be surprised or hurt if he got the Texas job. I would think it was a great opportunity for him. Um, but here's the thing. Let's go to the other
Nick
guys.
Sirianni.
Robert
Oh,
Sala.
go ahead. Now go ahead.
Hmm?
Keep going.
Robert Sala. Uh, I think he's very worthy of his position. He's earned it. He's proved his mettle. He's deserving. So boom, he's good where he's at. Next, let's go to Brandon Staley. 4 years ago, he was coaching football at John Carroll University. All right, that's Division 3. Now, people talk about his leadership skills, and things like that. And listen, I don't doubt that. But you have to understand that when these coaches make these choices, it's not that they don't feel that blacks can't coach. They know they can coach. Mike Tomlin never had a losing season. Jim Causal winning seasons, and the Lions in the playoffs in Detroit, a team that's only won one playoff game in 63 years. So it's not that they don't believe that they can't coach. They don't want them as the leaders of their businesses. And even though the NFL is a microcosm of the larger society, that's what it is. Okay. I mean, look, did you see Dan Campbell's train wreck of a press conference? I'm not going to say he's not going to be a good coach. We don't know what he's going to do. But damn, you talk about interviews. How the hell did he interview? All you had to do is look at that press conferences and say, I just know he didn't sit down with them for 2 hours and spew that same message. And they said, you know what? You're the man for the job. They chose Dan Campbell because they like him. They like him. He's their kind of guy. Um, None of these teams have to be forced to hire who they don't want to hire. I understand the problem, but let's get real about it. Uh, he got the job. He's looking for the coach of the former coach of the San Diego Chargers to come be his offense coordinator, right? Now he comes in because Dan Campbell. Let's face it, he was a tight ends coach. He never ran an offense.
Yeah.
He never had to construct the offensive game plan. He's going to come in and run his offense, and Dan Campbell's going to get all the credit for it. So it's like they want there's positions for him, but they don't want them as leaders. They don't want them, and it's frustrating. But That's just the way it is. People can hire who they want, and I think it's clear, who they want running their business.
Good point, Guru. I think some of those, especially the guy Nick Sirianni, that one was kind of, a young coach, no head coaching experience. Like, people don't really know who he is. Maybe the
Yeah,
Eagles just hired him so they could control him because that's what they seem like. We never.
I had to Google him.
You said what?
I said I had to Google
Yeah,
him.
I'm like, who the fuck is this? So you got Eric Benemy or Berenemy out there still, and it just, you know,
Yeah,
I don't
I
know. It
mean,
is what it
Travis,
is. But people going,
we
like you said, people don't care hire
it
who they
is.
want to, and it is what it is.
yeah.
You know, go ahead, Tito.
I mean, I was gonna say like B enemy. I mean, dude, he's running a high power offense at the moment, right? Like, yeah, I feel like opportunity will eventually be there. It's sad to say, but it's just like if anything, a lot of these positions as well are definitely non-desirable or not set up for success either. Like so, I wish he got
Chargers.
more opportunity. I really wish he got more opportunity, but it definitely was one of those people missed the boat with that guy. Like I think he definitely would. He seems to like him. The players. I mean, players from other teams are vouching for this guy. And it's just like no. I think I wanted to speak a little bit on. Um, that is if he were to get hired, I wouldn't be upset at that. Like I do think that a journeyman, backup, predominantly backup quarterback, had his fair share of starts, but he's been around and he's been a professional to my understanding. And yeah, you don't hear anything kind of bad, on his front
Never.
because he has done it. I mean, I know that we like to joke around. I know I've done so with like, especially on the Cowboys' expense of, third string quarterbacks always getting coaching opportunities, right? Like Kellen Moore or offensive coordinators or anything like that, because they're not in the game. They're kind of studying the X's and O's and always holding that clipboard, right? And kind of a student of the game, but that's somebody that I do think would pay dividends. I don't think it's going to save the Deshaun Watson. Like I do think Deshaun Watson needs to go somewhere else. Like somebody needs to come save that guy because
Really?
he shouldn't be playing for the Texans in my opinion. Um, the one I know that we're talking about coaches here, but I mean I know they're my
GMs?
team. Everybody knows that. But Washington, man, I mean they surprised me with their GM hire. I'm glad they did that. They just
I want
promoted.
to touch on that too.
They just promoted. They just promoted the assistant head coach as well. So it sounds like they're making all the right decisions. I feel like part of me feels a little forced because they were such a train wreck of an organization, that they have to kind of save face. But I also worry ever so slightly that we're turning into the Carolina Panthers, because everybody that's coming in has some sort of association with it. But maybe that's not a bad thing with how bad that team was ran, um, on 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 the field and off the field.
Yeah. Yeah, the Chargers. I mean, the Panthers. They're a good organization. You know, so I think that's kind of like it shows like a trend with everybody with all these hires. People are gonna hire who they know, who they're familiar with, and for black head coaches out there, you know, they just gotta, it'll come around. Like it's only thing that's apparent, but it's not. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. But for them, to me, it has to be like an in-house upbringing. Like say if Andy Reid goes out or he retires,
Hmm.
then we know who's going to be the next head coach. The same way, So
And
go ahead.
and here's the thing, and this goes to for even the bigger picture of society. When you decide that you want to discriminate, whether it be implicit or not, right? What you do is you eliminate a whole pool of good employees. You know what I'm saying? Like you have a whole vast pool of people from different ethnicities. If you want to put color aside, you want to be able to look at that whole pool.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think you do. I think the businesses do themselves a disservice to the public when they don't do their due diligence and they're not like really doing their homework to find out what is what. But again, even though this is private and the NFL is private and they have antitrust exemption because they're a private business, they still can be sued, right? Just because you're a private business does not mean you can still discriminate. Now, what will that prove? Okay, you can lay out numbers and data, and they'll all be supported. But what it does is it'll put a black eye on the league. They don't want that kind of publicity. I'm just saying that was something that Johnny Cochran and Cyrus Murray were doing. They just wanted to bring attention to it. But I just want people out there to know no one's asking for any handouts.
Mm-hmm.
These are people who have like really gotten in their work and just want an opportunity. But again, we understand how it goes on, and it goes on in regular life. This is just a sport, but we can just look at it from that point. But we'll see what the future holds, and I wish all the coaches the best of luck.
So, do you think that the NFL has a problem? Like, say, and this is like race aside. A lot of the NFL teams they seem to hire somebody that they got some type of relationship with, so they already closing down their pool. Like, it could be other white coaches that can be better for the situation, but since they keep want to hire like their boy or their friends or something like that. Let me see if anybody. Oh, we have a comment from Jose. He says, if you come from a certain coaching pedigree, you'll get first shot at a coaching job. We'll see. Sometimes it happens, like Robert Sala, once the momentum builds up, then you kind of get a job. But, it's like some of these guys are just, it's all right.
But
Like, if I was to hire somebody, I got more, colored friends than I do like white friends. So, a black
but
person or a
here's the
Mexican
thing.
person might get hired first. So, I'm not like too upset, but go ahead, Guru.
But it's like when you like, okay, getting back to the nepotism part. Yes, a lot of these coaches are buddies, and there's articles that could like chain link the connections and the jobs, which is fine. But it goes back to, okay, if I'm Mike Shanahan and I'm good friends, with John Gruden's dad, and then we're having cookouts. Hey, after work at my house, our kids are playing together. Hey, you know what? We got to keep this thing going. The money's getting bigger. Hey, son, finish college. You're going to come on and be a quality control coach, and you're just going to move up. These guys that are in position aren't the only ones that know X's and O's. Even though Byron Leftwich didn't go up for a quarterback, a head coaching interview or anything like that, he knows offense. He can put a game plan together. Why is there only two offense coordinators in NFL? Like, they say that's the road to being a head coach. But getting back to what I was saying, yeah, a lot of these guys are friends and buddies off of work, because it's like that football world. You know what I mean? They're high paid people. They live off, they got, only time they probably really come in contact with blacks is when they go to work
Yeah,
or getting their son an autograph.
yeah. So it is
Us,
it is what it is, man. One thing we haven't touched on is, and and this is the Eagles' job. We didn't talk
Yes.
about Doug Peterson getting fired though. How do you guys feel about Doug Peterson getting fired? I thought he did a horrible disservice that last game. But to me, they chose Carson Wentz over Doug Peterson, and I think they made the wrong decision.
Yeah.
Guru.
I'm doing a little research. Cover me, Guru.
Oh, I think Guru is gone, but I'll talk about it.
Ah,
Oh,
yeah.
good.
Cover. I'm trying to think. All right. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if this is correct now, but the guy that they hired came from Indianapolis, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, they're just for us. It kind of proves what we've been saying in the show about Doug Peterson, right? Like we've seen that Frank Wright, the head coach of Indianapolis, was probably the guy for Philadelphia when he was in Philadelphia,
Mm-hmm.
and they let him
Mm-hmm.
go, right? Like he went to go get a job, is doing his thing in Indianapolis. Everybody knows that I'm super high on the Colts or was high on them for this season, right? But now you go and get, I believe it was the passing coordinator. I don't think it was an offensive coordinator, but it had something to do with on the offensive side with them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, going now, so it's like you're kind of trying to right that ship, but you're right. I mean, I do think that I mean, we still have the off season, so we don't know if they're gonna continue to go with Hurts, which I think is the way to actually go, or are they gonna say no, when to steal our guy? We're gonna try this, run this back with a different head coach, or like you said, somebody that the GM and the owner for that matter running and calling the shots because that's what it sounds like. I mean, I haven't read too deep into like Peterson, but I know when he left, there was a report floating around saying he just, yeah, they said he got fired, he got let go, but there was a report saying he didn't want to be controlled. And it was one of those things where it seemed like there definitely was a rift there where some people wanted to go do one thing or do this, and he wanted to do what he wants to do. So,
Yeah, go ahead, Guru. Any thoughts on that? Because we haven't touched on the Peterson getting fired. I realize.
Yeah, look, he's played the quarterback position, even though he wasn't a very good one. He's coached under Andy Reid, and just like when Andy Reid knew when Donovan McNabb didn't have anything left, and Doug Peterson was on that staff at that time, he was taught and coached to what to look for when a player just doesn't have it anymore. And Carson Wentz doesn't have it. Now, here's the thing. He left because basically the owner owns the team. He says, look, I've guaranteed this man $114 million. I need you to fix him. And Doug Peterson said,
He said, "Shoot."
can't be fixed. He is just fell off a cliff, and I'm sorry we paid him this early, but he is just not. He can't get it done no more. And the owner's like, well, I'm not going to look like a fool. I guess you're going to have to leave. I'll get someone in here who will tell me that they can fix him. Nick Sirianni, he's Italian. Philadelphia has a large Italian community. So they won't be mad. And just because, and he didn't even call the plays, okay, in Indianapolis. So he's supposed to be able to fix Carson Wentz when Carson Wentz wasn't even the one who played in the Super Bowl game. It was quarterback for Chicago now. So I don't understand it all, but clearly this is a way for Howie Roseman, who's who runs the football operations to, they got someone in and they're just basically gambling, right? They don't have to pay him top dollar. He fits what they feel they need, and they think that he can fix Carson Wentz. They're going to give it a try, but it's going to be a mess. It's going to be a mess, especially with Jalen Hurts. Like, it's going to be a
Yeah, I don't.
mess.
I think the Eagles they did a disservice, man. As much as you would have hated Doug Peterson last season for benching Carson or whatever. That team doesn't go nowhere. It's no luck in Philadelphia when it comes to sports team, and this guy delivered the greatest sports championship of all time to the city, and you fire him because you wanna keep a guy who wasn't part of that championship run. I don't know. At some point, like I said, these teams are doing themselves a disservice by not opening their eyes and looking at the full spectrum. But it is what it is. What else happened in the NFL? Mark Ingram got released. What else? Dwayne Haskins played for the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's interesting.
Good move. Good move
yep.
because Mike
Did we
Tomlin
call
doesn't
this?
play.
Did we call this? No, no. Did we?
We
We called somebody in
no,
Pittsburgh.
I had an inkling he was going to go to Jacksonville, obviously because of Urban Meyer. That connection there and all the nice things that Meyer had to say, to back him. But I think a fair amount of us in here said the change is going to be good. I mean, I think Guru, you had pointed out he's from the DMV, right? Like he's from that area. It was basically the same friends. Like, oh, I'm living it up where I'm at. Probably not making the best decisions. Like um, I when I saw he went to Pittsburgh, I mean, I said, all right, Tomlin, you know, he was able to keep AB under wraps for all those years, right? Like,
Yep, 9, 10 seasons. I didn't even know.
you know, exactly. And it's just like, I'm not saying, Haskins is AB or anything like that, but maybe the change of scenery does wake him up a little bit, right? Like, I mean, I was in here 2 shows ago saying, I hope he takes the second chance and runs with it because he's a talented individual. He's just very, very immature with decision making, whether on the field or off the field. Um, and I'm sure that's going to be, I'm sure it's going to be an environment that he could thrive in. The scary part is that there is going to be a quarterback competition right off the bat, right? Like you really don't know. Like I think Ben's done, right? I don't know if it's official or anything like that, but he's going to be thrown into that whirlwind again of kind of like he was this offseason. And does that kind of stir up
I don't
anything?
think so
But
because he
I,
can't
I
go in
think
there
it's
thinking
I
he's the
think it's good.
starter. Like he has to want to play the starter. But if you
Yeah,
get Dwayne Haskins has for the first time in his NFL career, besides Dan Snyder when he drafted him, he has a coach that wanted him on the team, so they brought him in.
Yeah.
So that's probably initially gonna like okay, all right. Even if I don't win the starter position now, I got a part on the team to actually grow because I've
Warner.
been saying for the longest like a lot of these quarterbacks like Dwayne Haskins and other quarterbacks, they expect them to do greatness early, and they don't let them sit and
yeah,
learn like how they used to do in the '90s and early 2000s. So, it's kind of like a turnaround league because a lot of these college kids are hyped and come around. But this might be a good scenery for them. If it was one person, I mean, any team could put like a clamp on them, but maybe Mike Tomlin can be the person that reach to him personally, like, hey, dog, like, be like, hey, be quiet. You know what I'm saying? He the only head coach right there that can tell him in words to be cool. Go ahead, Guru.
And very it's good that you point that out because very few quarterbacks do come out as first round picks and perform well. I can think back to like Phil Simms. He was terrible for like the first 6 years of his career. And then, he didn't get Joe Theismann, he didn't start till his fifth year in the league. So you are right about that development stage. Some quarterbacks will come out quick, like Doug Williams. He came out for Tampa Bay like gangbusters. And then you have some that just take about 3, 4 years,
Like Baker
maybe
Mayfield.
5. Well, let's not go that far. Okay.
All right, so let's talk about last week's games. Drew Brees is done. The only long ball thrown in that game was by Jameis Winston. I don't know why they didn't just. I mean, I get it. Drew Brees is your legacy quarterback. It might be his last ride in a win, but they had potential to
Better
win that
be.
game if they had some throws, and that kind of shows me Sean Payton. He knows what he's doing with his team. He knows why he has Taysom Hill in there. He knows why he has Jameis Winston in the spot. And I'm for sure he knew and he knows that Drew Brees is done. That he could have took him out the game. He know that. So I think they lost the game. And it sucks. They lost the game. I don't really care about that team too much, but more kudos to Sean Payton for letting him just go out there and play his potentially his last game, even though he could have won the game if he'd have went other directions. I don't think he should have did that, but he was playing for the NFL Films legacy game. Like, all right, this is your last game. I'm gonna just let you. I'm gonna let them make the movie. Like you didn't play too good, but I didn't bench you, and I didn't take you out. But who else? Baker Mayfield lost to the Patrick Mahomes Chiefs, but he didn't lose the game, Buru. He was losing the game by 13 points, and he got him back into striking distance. Then they had a chance. Then they were down by 4. The coach didn't believe in Baker Mayfield after he like did the whole game, whole 4 quarters and 3/4 of throwing the ball, play action, getting it to the receivers at the right time, scrambling. He throws a run, screen, run, punts the ball. Defense does not give it back because Andy Reid actually believes in his play calling and his player, unlike Kevin Stefanski. And he runs after abysmal interception thrown by the quarterback. He runs 2 plays, one magical 19-yard scamper, and then they run like a bootleg pass type of situation. I can't even think of the quarterback right now. What's his name? Hennessy? Chad Henne? Is that the
Chad
yeah,
Henne.
Chad
Yeah.
Henne's a quarterback. Yeah, man. So I'm pissed that the Browns could have won. The
what
Cleveland Steamers could have won the game.
here? What a way what a way to learn, right? Because that's what I hope Stefanski takes away from this. Like, what a way to learn. Like, you definitely got out coached at the moment that you needed, at that very moment. Baker played a good game. I'm not gonna call him the
He's
greatest or
not the
anything like
greatest.
that. It was
Go
very
ahead. Let me be
it was
quiet.
very winnable. But to be fair, Stefanski's probably a fan of the show, man, because he's probably been listening to us. Because if I was in that, I wouldn't trust Baker either. Like, Baker has not shown me that he can run a 2 minute drill. I mean, yes, he was playing well enough. I get it. I understand it. But he went with what he knew. That run
You
game is a
can
power
lose
run
the
game. I'm
game.
sorry, but
You can lose the
but
game how they lost the game.
yeah.
But in a 2 minute warning, you can still lose, but you can give yourself the better shot. Like the chances. Like
Oh
I'm not
no,
gonna play the
definitely. I
Mega
mean, what it
Millions. I'm gonna play
yeah.
the Fantasy Five because I have a better shot of winning.
Yeah, I mean, I told you also trust your defense, right? Like, he trusted his defense to try and get that ball back. I mean, what did I say in the text, that we were doing? Like, I at that point, if there's any inkling, for me to go to the AFC Championship game, right? If there's any inkling or any opportunity that I might not be in control, I would have played on fourth down. I'm sorry, I
Go
know
for
that field
broke.
position, but exactly. What's GRT motto, right? Go for broke every step of the way. You put yourself in that situation, you put yourself in a scenario. But like I said to start, what a way to learn. Like, these are the moments, like, these are the instances that, as a coach, I hope he takes and says, I'm going to do something different, or I'm going to trust Baker Mayfield. I wouldn't, but uh, this is the moment that I hope is a turning point for them because, dude, kudos to you, Raymir. Browns definitely surprised me.
Not
I'm sure they surprised you too, Guru. Like, I knew what they were, but they came out, they balled, they played. I still think there's a theory on OBJ, but it's it,
five and
it
two.
the,
Five and
the
two with
better
OBJ.
team, the better team, the better coach definitely showed up. It doesn't matter. You have to make the right play, and KC just showed that everybody's on board, that everybody's going to try and be where they're at when they're at, and that kind of two plays kind of showed it.
Go ahead, go.
Tito, he pretty much, took the words out of my mouth. For the
No, Guru,
Did we
die.
lose them?
No, I think it's his connection.
He had to prop him up, and you had to band-aid his moves. And you're right, I would have went for it on fourth down since you don't trust him to do the 2 minute drills because I wouldn't trust him either. Uh, you just take it methodically and move it every fourth down. But listen, here's the thing. Um, Baker did improve, but next year, what is that jump going to be? Because you got to pay Nick Chubb. You're going to have to pay him. What do you pay Baker? Because you got to realize pieces around him are going to start disappearing. Kareem Hunt will be a free agent after next year. Not that you would need him, but you can even trade him for a draft asset. But here's the deal with Baker. He he definitely improved on year three, but he leaves a lot to be desired still.
Yeah, all quarterbacks do. Drew Brees is in the league for 20 years. He still leaves more to improve on. But the Cleveland Browns, like I called it way back in July, they were going to be the number 2 seed in the AFC North. They were going to be highly ranked than Baltimore. That's going to be the division that gets 3 teams in the playoffs. Um, what else did I say? Baker played a good game, man. Like he's not that elite quarterback, but when you in that situation where he playing good all game, were you playing good all game? When you're playing good all game, you gotta leave him in the game. You don't sit your hottest player on. Like I mean, you
Yeah.
don't sit him on the bench. Like I get the running game was good. Oh, David, I see you. What's up, David? We'll get to your boy in a second, but yeah, you don't do it. But look. So yeah. I think the coaching lost the game. Baker didn't lose the game, but he didn't win the game either, like how he should have. They shouldn't have been that far out of it anyway. But it's once again, it's coaching staff getting used to their player, warming them up, and really getting them to go. Because obviously, you guys kind of were right because the head coach didn't believe in him because that's why he called those plays, those dumb, idiotic plays, and that's why he played like that. But when you're in it against the Chiefs, I don't care. I know Mahomes is out, and you might think you can stop him, but it's too much firepower with the Kansas City's offense to where you can't trust it with nobody. Like, yeah, of course, Mahomes is a great quarterback and he can do some things, but the way those players run and jump and between Kelsey, Cheetah, Watkins, like people get open. Number 17, whatever his name is.
Yeah, who you want to double? Who
That's
you
what I'm
want to
saying.
double?
So if I'm a quarterback, I'm getting at least 90 yards on 3 drives if I play for the Chiefs because they just have that type of firepower. Um,
I
Go ahead.
I just I would I don't know, like I get upset like watching teams defend the Chiefs. Like I'm not, I'm not a coach by any means or anything like that. But it's like, how are they always open in the middle of the field? Like it's like everybody wants to, like, yeah, you have, Hill. They're gonna beat you on top. You got these speedsters, right? But it's like everybody's always playing this damn prevent or cover two, or the spy, and it's the middle of the field is always open, and it's like I would rather get beat on the outside because guess what? I got an invisible defender called the out of bounds line that I can use to my advantage. But it's like every single time, any team that plays the Chiefs, every big play that's made is made in the middle of the damn field because it's always so damn wide open, or the extending of the play. And it's just like I don't understand how in like teams don't plan and prep for that stuff. Like get beat on the outside, oh well. But man, it's just so mind-boggling, man. But then again, I mean, that's probably how good it shows me how good the Chiefs really are, man. Like they're doing all the right things at the moment. I mean, I'll be the first one to tell you I'm probably going to eat my words, but they're not going to win the Super Bowl. I got another front runner, but
All right,
um,
so let's get into the NFL playoff talk because it's almost 11. I'm gonna have to skedaddle right at 11. We have some comments in here. David Voss says, "At Ray Mir, get off Baker's cock." Whoa, relax, relax. We got kids in here.
it's the Saturday Sunday. It's the Saturday morning cartoon show, man. No.
Nah, it's all good, David. Hey, David, I hear your comments, but I'm pretty sure you left for Aaron. Without even looking, I'm pretty sure you left for Aaron Rodgers comment. So I'm not gonna say who's right and who, but oh, there it goes. Aaron Rodgers MVP. Go ahead with the NFL talk, Tito, so we can pick our games. I know we had a few
Yeah,
people reach
definitely.
out
I
to
mean,
me. So.
there's only 2 games,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I mean, Sunday.
Go AFC first.
Right, AFC first. All right, we got Buffalo versus KC. KC is -3. Patty Mahomes did get cleared, so he is. I'll
Guru, go
let you
first.
guys go first.
Guru, go ahead. Go first.
Oh, I have as far as for the
AFC. No, go
NFC,
AFC.
No,
Tampa
AFC.
Bay.
AFC.
AFC.
Oh, I'm
Buffalo or
sorry,
KC?
AFC. I'm sorry, AFC. I got Kansas City.
No quick reason. Just Kansas City.
Just too much firepower. Is when you have to, you can only double one. They got 4 guys, offensive weapons on the field that you have to double, and you can't.
Okay. I'm actually torn on this game. The health of Patrick Mahomes is not 100% clear. The Bills are an excellent team. Let's talk about that. They didn't run the ball for a first half, which was weird, which is stupid, but they won't do that next week. Stephon Diggs is a all elite wide receiver. Josh Allen is still MVP-s. If Aaron Rodgers wasn't in the league, he'd be number 2. But I'm like, gotta go. Me being a Raider fan, it's hard picking up the Chiefs right now, man. It's just really hard. Like I can't. I'm gonna have to go with Buffalo. I'm going Buffalo.
Um,
I'm going Buffalo.
they,
Buffalo. They got the offensive firepower. Kansas City's
Rainier,
defense
you
they
stole my
don't they don't
thunder.
scare me. Go ahead, Tito.
You stole my thunder. I'm gonna say in GRT fashion, go for broke. This is this is Buffalo. I hope Buffalo does what I think they're gonna do: send the house. You know, go after Mahomes, get into a shootout. You have Diggs, you have Allen. Get into a shootout. They've shown that they can play that style. But they're gonna have to take some risk. If they're not taking risks, I mean, I did think that Baltimore game was a little bit on the safe end. Definitely seemed that they got ahead. They wanted to, make the safe play. You can't do that against these Chiefs, in my opinion. You're gonna have to go for broke. And I'm gonna say take the points. I think Buffalo squeaks it out in a shootout, but that's just me, man. I mean, KC is really, really darn good, but I am worried about Mahomes. What he does well is extend the plays, and I think Buffalo's defense can get to him or make have him extend plays on a regular basis, which I don't think would go well if he's not 100%.
Okay, we got comments from David. He says, guys, Josh Allen was he was overthrowing everyone and their mom last week.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
It's all good, man. He was nervous. They said he suffers from anxiety, so he has to. Guru, you back? All right, Guru's back. All right, go ahead. NFC. Who is it? Tito.
Yeah, we got Tampa Bay versus Green Bay. Green Bay, same line, -3, or actually, it's actually -3.5.
All right, I'll go first. So the Bay, the Bay championship game. I just want to say I think Green Bay is gonna win, but TB12, man, Tom Brady 12, man, he just has something about championship games where he shows up. And last week Gronk and a couple of other Tampa Bay players were looking kind of sluggish. They didn't do too good on offense. And in the Aaron Rodgers game, Aaron Rodgers kind of been playing out of this world right now, and I can see that. And it's his first home game, his first NFC Championship game at home. So it pains me to say that I'm gonna have to go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tom Brady, you're right. You're right, Tom Brady. Tom Brady's gonna pull it off. Aaron Rodgers is an MVP player. I get it, and he's shooting. But Tom Brady, the Tom Brady factor, the special sauce, the secret ingredient is something about certain players and people. And Tom Brady, we have to admit it, he has it. So I'm going with Tom Brady's, Mike Evans, Antonio Brown, Chris Godwin, Leonard Fournette, Ronald Jones, Gronk, Cameron, David. What's the little clone of his dad? Antoine Winfield clone.
He won't be playing.
He ain't playing.
He's out.
Green Bay. No, go ahead. I can't go. I can't go back now. Dang, that's kind of like huge though, because the Green Bay offense won't be stopped.
They play good assignment football. I'm going with Tampa. Like you said, that secret sauce. Tom Brady's got that secret sauce. I bet it against him, and I've been wrong all year. I was wrong from the beginning, and I'm not going to be wrong moving forward. Tom Brady. Or Tampa.
Go ahead, Tito.
I'm gonna give you 2 picks here. Nope, short and sweet. Green Bay. I trust in Aaron, although he's let me down so many times. You can almost say that he's the end to the playoffs, especially in NFC Championship games. But I don't know, man. I'm not betting, but I would definitely going with the heart here. I want to see Aaron Rodgers in a Super Bowl again, and that's just me personally. I don't have a real reason. I don't have a legit, but I just want to give it to the show. I just want to give it to our viewers. I'm going with Aaron Rodgers here, man. He's playing out of his mind.
David Vaughn says, and he says it's reported that Antonio Brown is out. Dang, it's looking slimmer and slimmer for the Bucs. Brown out, Winfield out.
I mean, you can't take anything away from Brady, though, man. I mean, when has Brady let us down? I mean, Guru, like the beginning of the season, come on, man. You've been wrong on Brady, right? But it's like, when has he showed us that he can't do it? But I just think I worry about Green Bay's defense. I really worry. But you're playing in Green Bay. It was a tough matchup against the Rams because we know what that defense is. But But Aaron Rodgers, man. I mean, I think he still has it. I think this is kind of like a I know it's a kids show, man, but I think this is one big fu to everything that transpired in the draft, beginning of the season, everybody that was talking. This is kind of like a revenge tour for him, in my opinion. Um, and he's going out there. And then, not to take away, man, Adams, you had the best cornerback in the league. And look at what Adams was doing. He was still running his game, man. So
He had
I'm
him.
sorry, but my
He
heart.
had Jalen Ramsey look like a babe. I mean, he like he had
Right?
Jalen Ramsey
And it's
sick.
like I'm going with my heart here. No real reason. Because Tom Brady hasn't let anybody down. Um, Green Bay here, man.
Okay, so David says he has a few words for us. He says Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Jones, Ramir's cousin. I get the joke. That's funny. And Devontae Adams. No one's stopping him. So he has. So David says he has. I guess looking at his comments, he has Chiefs versus Packers. Tito, you have Bills versus Packers in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Guru, you have Chiefs versus the Bucks, and I have the outlier pick. Chiefs versus the Bucks, and I have the Bills versus the Bucks in the Super Bowl. We'll see who calls it right. I can't wait.
And rewatch the game. Rewatch the Buffalo Bucks Green Bay game earlier this year, and watch how they was hitting Aaron Rodgers. And that's what they're gonna do tomorrow. They're gonna hit his ass. Watch that game earlier this year where they whipped on him. They're gonna hit
He's
him.
getting like PTSD of San Francisco 49ers from last year. Like that, you know how they whooped him twice, like bad. Same thing. But all right, y'all. Good show. Jose, shout out to you. Shout out to you, David. Shout out to other people. And remember, give us a like. We for some reason people are finding our videos a little bit more by time. So we're gonna keep growing. But Guru, any last words?
Hey, be good out there, everybody. Enjoy the weekend. Eat good.
Yep. Stay safe out there, guys. Shit's real. It's always a blast, always fun. Take care.
All right, everybody. Peace out.